Hello everyone, welcome back to our daily creative challenge. Today's theme was cityscapes, so I'm very excited to get into this with you all. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm Kathleen, I'm an illustrator and designer here at Adobe, and I will be supporting you through this daily creative challenge. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go ahead and check out the link below in the description box. That's where you can take part in the challenge. All you have to do is sign up and you will get an email bright and early in the morning with a prompt. Now this prompt is kind of based around the idea that we want you to get really strong and confident in the tools of Illustrator. Oh, what's up, El Sarambani Studio? Welcome, welcome. We want to introduce you all to Illustrator, get you comfortable in there. So at the end of this challenge, you'll have an awesome portfolio piece, you'll have multiple illustrations that you yourself created, and you'll also have a creative community, which is everyone here in the chat. Deborah, how you doing? John Joel, hello, hello. Shiraz, Esther's here, of course. Artur, hello. Michael Shez, obviously. How you all doing today? It's good to see you. So go ahead and check out that link below. This is the second week of the challenge, which is very exciting. I've seen so many awesome inspirational things today. I've been hanging out in the Slack channel all day. If you have no idea what the Slack is, that is another way that we want to support you here during the Daily Creative Challenge. It's basically like a giant chat room where we can all hang out. You can post works in progress. The link to sign up for the Slack is above me right now. It's bit.ly/dailychallenge/Slack. Let me know in chat, are you a part of the Slack? Hey Ash, what's up? A-Brand, hello. Vicus, hello, hello, hello. AH Pro, ooh, it's 2 in the morning in Morocco? Wow. So yeah, check out the Slack. Let us know if you're already a part of here. We can pop over to my screen and I can show you a little sneak peek of what goes on in the Slack. These are some awesome critiques that were going on just earlier today about the creative challenge for the day, which was Cityscapes. As you know, we've got Esther's Jerusalem here, a couple different iterations. Richard was working on this nice kind of smoggy, hazy Cairo. Ended up with this. Let's see, I think it's down here a little bit more. Maybe I missed it, but Michael Shez was helping him out. Yes. Very nice indeed with some grain effect. Hey Terrence, welcome. So come hang out. You can also ask general questions or just chat with everyone. You'll get reminders when the channel is about to go live if you want to hang out for these live streams. And the point of these live streams is to really just walk you through maybe a version of the daily challenge. I've done my own design every day. I'll show you how to make an illustration based on the theme using super simple tools in Illustrator. We will export that illustration, put it on our computer, and then we'll upload it to Behance. Behance is an amazing social media portfolio website where you can upload all of your work. If you want to check out the work that's already been uploaded for the Daily Creative Challenge, go to bit.ly/Daily Challenge Gallery. That will take you to this page if you want to get inspired. Hey Lee, Rob, hello, hello. All right, chat. So I think that is all the introduction I need to do. If you're ready, maybe we can hop into Illustrator. And don't forget that at the end of my little walkthrough, we will be highlighting some of the community work that's been done today. We'll do a little bit of critiquing, a little reviewing. Very excited. All right, so we are in Illustrator, and you will see that my chosen cityscape for today is beautiful Santorini in Greece. I thought that it might be a little bit different from your typical grungy kind of Gotham, New York cityscape. I wanted to do something kind of round and bubbly. Fits a little bit better with my aesthetic. Hey Vern, how you doing? Welcome. So this is my inspiration image, and I wanted to show you how easy it is to just bring reference images into Illustrator. I just literally dragged this from my browser and plopped it into my artboard. And if this is your first time using Illustrator, you will see something like this. When you open it, let's go ahead and use one of these web sizes. When it asks you what document size you want to use, click on web, maybe choose one of these. I've been going with minimum for this challenge. And that way the finished piece that you make isn't too big or too tiny to upload for Behance. So you'll go ahead and click Create, and you'll see something like this. Oh, thank you, El Sarambani, appreciate it. So I'm not going to show you how to create this entire illustration, but I'm going to teach you the tools how to create it, so you can take that and make something of your own. You'll see that in this illustration, there's a lot of repeating shapes. The shape character is very similar. It's very round and simple, but also a little bit rectilinear or angular. And let's maybe jump into the first tool that I was going to be talking with you about. On the very first day of the challenge, we went over some shape building tools. There's Pathfinder, there's also the Shape Builder. Now, I was going to recreate these buildings that I created and show you how Pathfinder and how Shape Builder are different and when you might use one versus the other. Oh, thank you, Lee. Appreciate it. Esther, yeah, Esther in Slack earlier was trying to guess which cityscape I was going to do. And she actually correctly guessed. She thought I was going to do Columbus, Ohio first, which is where I'm from. That was my first thought, but I thought that's too easy, or no one's going to actually know what that is. So then I thought San Francisco, that's where we're streaming from. But I also thought that would be too easy. So I went with something very out there. I'm glad I got you, Esther. It's very hard to pick. But it was actually really cool to see all of your hometown cityscapes today when I was looking through the galleries. All right, and let me know in chat if you've already done some Pathfinder and shape building before. I'd be interested to hear which one you prefer. So let's go ahead and just rebuild these shapes. Right now, I'm just doing Command plus to zoom in. I have this kind of as a template. See, these shapes are locked. I cannot move them. The opacity is bumped down. So this is just kind of like a drawing board that I'm going to recreate. So I'm going to recreate these shapes using tools that we've been covering for the last week or so. Just going to make a nice ellipse. Make sure that it's just stroked with black. Perfect. All right, so I use my ellipse tool. Let's go over to the rectangle tool. Let's draw a nice rectangle as we see here. And this is really just to illustrate how you can build more complex shapes out of very simple shapes that Illustrator basically gives you. All right, let's do one more rectangle. And this bottom shape is probably the most complicated one, and I just used the curvature tool, which we've covered over multiple days. Curvature tool is over here. You can do Shift plus, and then I think that's an apostrophe perhaps, but I usually just click on the tool. It's easier for me. Curvature tool is like the pen tool's cousin, but maybe a little more intuitive for people who are used to drawing. Oh, Jerry, you're more familiar with Pathfinder. Terrence uses both. Nice. Esther didn't do your hometown, but you did do Jerusalem, which was really pretty. And Esther usually uses Shape Builder, but every once in a while I use Pathfinder. That's how I am. When I learned Illustrator, I learned Shape Builder before Pathfinder. All right, so I'm going to use the curvature tool. And the way this works is you drop a point where you want it to start, drop another point about where you want the curve to be, and then drop one more point to finish out that curve. Now you notice that my curve was a little bit higher, so I'm going to do Command Z to go back to undo my curves that I was making. So click here, and I'm actually going to hold Shift, and that's not working so well, so I'm just going to unhold Shift. If you hold Shift, it will constrain it. See how it pops to very specific angles if I'm holding down Shift, but if I let it go, I'll drop a point right there. Arthur loves Shape Builder. Yes, me too. All right, so I want to then continue with the rest of this angular building, but you'll notice when I try and drop another point, it wants to create a curve for me, a Bezier curve. I don't necessarily want that for this. I want kind of a straight and narrow line. So instead of just clicking once, which if I do that, it will create a curve, I'm going to double click. Oops. Just kidding, I'm going to double click this one. There we go. And click there, and that basically changes your point character to say that this is either going to be straight angular point or a curved one. So double click, and to finish out, double click. All right. So curvature tool takes a little bit of practice, but once you play with it a little bit, it's very easy, and I actually prefer it to the pen tool. Al Sarambani says that for me it depends on what shape I'm working on, so let's say I use both. Yes, totally, and that's really what I'm here to show you. Maybe one situation where you'd use Shape Builder and one where you might use Pathfinder. Alrighty, so we finished that shape using the tools that we already know. Let's go on to the next one, going back to our ellipse tool. Let's zoom in. Hey, cool, welcome. You're watching from the Philippines. So you're wondering about any advice for digital art? As much as I'd love to chat about that right now, I don't have a ton of time, but what I would recommend is coming over to our Slack channel. It's like a giant chat room. You can join that at bit.ly/dailychallengeslack. There might even be a URL above me in just a moment. Possibly. Maybe not. But yeah, come over and hang out and you can chat with us. We can give you lots of advice about digital art, where to start, some inspiration. All right, let's draw this ellipse. Yeah, Michael Shez, you've got it in chat. Awesome. And we are going to draw a rectangle. Tools that we've already used many times, and then as always, the last shape is the most difficult, but this one honestly is very easy. We're just going to keep using the rectangle tool. And if you're wondering how I'm drawing from the inside, you see how I'm pulling the shape from the inside instead of pulling it from a corner? All I'm doing is holding Option while I drag. If I hold Option Shift, it would make a perfect square. But I'm just holding Option because I want this to be more like a rectangle. All right, maybe I'll grab this edge, go up a little bit. Perfect. Now the way that I got these top two corners rounded is, you guessed it, used the Smart Corner widgets. Now if I were to just grab the widgets, it would round my entire shape, which is not what I want. I want to just grab this corner and this corner. Let's get this color menu out of the way. It's blocking my view. Oh, Iron Buddha, I'm so glad that you enjoyed this for tutorials. Perfect for your short attention span. Me too, my friend, me too. All right, so we just want to grab these two corners. What we're gonna do is use our direct selection tool. It's the friend of the selection tool, but direct selection allows us to choose just one point to transform. So let's click this corner, and I'm gonna hold Shift and click this other corner that I want to also edit. And you'll see now that I have two Smart Corner widgets, but I don't have any down here. I didn't select those corners. All right, so let's grab these widgets, pull them down, get them as close as we can to the little tracing outline that I have below it, and there we go, we have our shapes. One thing I'm gonna do that we haven't talked about in the last week or so is I'm going to align my shapes. That's just to make sure that the shapes are perfectly lined up with each other and that one isn't pushed over to the right or the left more than it needs to be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure I have my selection tool selected, that is V for the hotkey, drag a marquee around my entire shape, and you'll see over here in the properties panel, which should be the largest menu that you see if you have your Essentials workplace selected, you'll see this align kind of row of options up here. It knows that I might want to align it because this properties panel is really smart, and it knows, when she selects multiple shapes, maybe she wants to align them. So you can see as I click on different alignment tools, maybe I do horizontal align left, you'll notice that all my shapes line up on the left based on the horizontal axis. That's not what I want. I want to do a horizontal align center. I want to align them all straight and narrow. So I'm going to click that and you'll see a super tiny change. Let me go back and I'll do it again. So watch closely. Do you see that? It just moved a tiny, tiny bit. My shapes weren't perfect when I built them, but almost perfect. Hey Desiree, late tonight. That's all right, that's all right. We are just getting started really with the tutorial. We just built these shapes, which coincide perfectly with this main shape and this main shape of my Santorini cityscape. Hey Martin, welcome. All right, so let's align this as well. Now see, maybe if I do, let's try vertical align center. Let's see what happens. Whoa, definitely not what I want. So let's do Command Z, but it's fun to play with these and see what they do. Let's just do the horizontal align center, exactly what I wanted. All right, so let's get into the kind of meat and potatoes of this tutorial. When might you use Shape Builder? When might you use Pathfinder? So you can see that this shape right here is this shape right here. And you'll see that in this shape, I have a nice little hat for the top of this dome. I also have this nice blue shape above this curved shape. I could build this using just layers, layering shapes on top of each other like I did here. But I really just want to make these shapes precise and crisp, so let's use the Shape Builder for this option. You'll see why in a second. So what I want to do is I want to make this circle bisected so that the top is a shape right here, and that this rectangle and the bottom half of the circle becomes one shape. I'm going to select both of them, and I'm going to go over to our Shape Builder tool. I went quickly over the Shape Builder tool on the first day, but it was very quick, not very in-depth. So here we go. When I select Shape Builder, you'll see when I hover over my shapes, a nice kind of hash mark pattern appears, and it tells me where I'm going to build my shapes. So let me just click in there. Awesome. Now this little hat is its own shape. Let me click and draw through two shapes, release. Now the rectangle becomes one shape. You can also do that. Let me go back. If I were to say, want to get rid of the top of this dome, the way you do that is you would hold Option. You'll notice how my cursor changes a little bit. It goes to a minus when I tap Option. That's saying that we're going to get rid of these shapes. So let me click that. It disappears. This really requires you to play around with it and see how you might use this to build. But it's a really handy tool, and I definitely prefer it. All right, so we're going to make sure this is a shape, and I'm going to drag through here, make sure these are both shapes. And if I were to add a fill color, let's choose the fill color that it actually is in the illustration. I'm just going to tap I to go to the eyedropper. Click this. We have a blue top. And let's just fill this with yellow for now, just to show. There we go. Two perfect shapes. All right, let's finish up the rest. I'm going to select these two shapes. Do Shift M, that's the hotkey for Shape Builder, or you can go over here to the toolbar. And I'm going to make sure this is a shape by just clicking in here. And then I'm going to join these two shapes by scribbling through. And you will see that we have our building nice and neat without any overlapping lines. I could grab this, I could drag it away, I could grab this, drag it away, boom. If that doesn't make sense, let me know in the chat. Hopefully I'll be able to help. All right, now this is the example where we're going to use Pathfinder. Pathfinder is pretty much exactly the Shape Builder, but instead of having to draw through shapes, you just click a button like we did with the Align tools. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to merge these two shapes to create something like this. I'm going to make sure my shapes are selected. And when you do that, the property tools, which is too smart for its own good, shows me Pathfinder options, just like it did Align options. Now there's a bunch of different options. I could choose the intersection of the two shapes. I could minus the front shape from the back shape, but right here we're just going to do a simple merge or unite. When I click it, you'll see that we now have a united shape. I could do the exact same thing with Shape Builder, but you'll see that I would have to select it, go to Shape Builder, and then draw through all of them. It's kind of like just doing an extra step when I could just Pathfinder it. All right, now let's add all three shapes together, or all two now. I'm going to select both of them and just click Unite. We have one shape. You'll also notice that I could have just selected all three at once, united them all, and we have one building. Really easy. Could I hide the sketch layer? Yes, totally. So the sketch layer is just some shapes that I made that I locked. So I can totally drag them away and drag these back in. But those are really just there for teaching purposes. They wouldn't hinder you from using your shape builder at all. Yeah, Jerry, I'm so glad that you might be using it more often now. I love the shape builder. So fun. All right, so that is a really quick overview of why you might use Pathfinder, why you might use Shape Builder. Please play with them. They're really fun. See which one that you might prefer more. But now let's export our finished illustration. I've already got my little work done. I had some homework. I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to right click and I'm going to select Export Selection. You can also do this by going up to File and Export Selection. Artur says After Effects needs Shape Builder. Maybe someday, Artur. Alrighty, so I clicked Export Selection and you will see that I have just the things that I had selected exported. It's very easy, very awesome. I'm going to double click here. I'm going to write Santorini. I'm going to choose where I want to export to. Desktop, Daily Creative Challenge. Perfect. And here you can choose your different formats that you want. So maybe I want a 1x scale, but maybe I also want to export a ×2 scale. I'll show you what that means when I do it. Export assets. It's thinking. And you'll see here I have two Santorini files. I have Santorini 100, so at 100% scale, just the way I built it, JPEG. But I also have Santorini ×2. So that means look at the dimensions down here. My 100% is 882. My ×2 is 1763. So it is literally ×2 the size, and this is great for when you're doing icons for people. It's great for when you are doing some UX or UI design and you need to export many assets in many different sizes. All right, so I have my assets exported. Let's go to Behance and get it uploaded. If this is your first time uploading to Behance, you can make a login by using your Gmail or your Facebook or your Adobe ID, totally free, really, really easy to do. But you'll notice that I already have an account and I already have a project. So let's just update my existing project. You'll see my day 0 rocket, my day 2 furry companion. All of these things were created on stream, these delicious looking mangoes. I'm going to edit my project and add my image. The interface here is really, really simple, really easy. Click the up arrow to upload. Let's go to Daily Creative Challenge. We'll do our 100%. There she is. Notice the very subtle gradient in the sky. And down here in the text, we will write day 6, just making sure. We're almost to the end, everyone. It's kind of sad. And Cityscape. We will turn off Keycaster. A place I've never been, but dream of often. Save it. Perfect. Now this is the most important part. If you are updating or making a new project, make sure you go into your settings, which is right here. If you're making a new project, it'll take you there automatically. And in our discoverability tab, this is the most important part of uploading to Behance. We're going to make sure that we have the Daily Creative Challenge keyword entered. It's Daily Creative Challenge, one word, and that is the only way that we're going to be able to find your work. Everyone else is going to be able to find your work, and that's the only way it's going to be able to show up at bit.ly/dailychallengegallery, which is here. All of these projects were had the keyword Daily Creative Challenge, and that's why they all appear in this gallery. There are so many. I love looking through these every day. All right, so we're going to save now that we have made sure that our keyword is in there. Let's go back to my profile. Click on the project, and let's see if Santorini appeared. There she is, looking good. There's so many different styles in this project. It's kind of amazing. All right, day 6 is complete for me. So now, and yes, Michael, there's a tutorial on how to share on Behance, everything that I just went over in case that was too quick and you need a bit of a refresher. Click that link in the chat. Alrighty. Now that we have shared my piece, let's talk a little bit about your work. We have a couple community highlights that we can look at before our stream is over in just a couple minutes. Let's hop to the first one. This is by Hugo. Hugo has been participating most every day. Awesome illustrations so far, very simple, very graphic. And something I really appreciate about this Cityscape by Hugo is that there's a really, really nice use of foreground and background here that makes this image very readable, although it's very dark. And I think my favorite part is this really subtle, warm glow here at the bottom. Orange and blue are really nice together, very contrasting. And this coolness of the night mixed with this warmth of the city is really interesting. So I'm gonna appreciate it because I appreciate this project. You can do this for each other. You can check out each other's work, appreciate it. Also leave comments. We've got one from Lee that says, whoa, nice. Michael Shez loves the Formula One. That was the race car. So nice job, Hugo. Thank you so much for putting work into this. Hey, Felicia. Glad to have you here. Thank you very much. All right, this is by Julian. And Julian is working on the submissions and hasn't totally caught up yet, which is totally fine. You have a couple days. You have until April 21st to get all of your work in, although the last challenge will be on April 20th. So, Julian, you have time. You can get these projects done. The first day was a strawberry, very flat, and the second day, I love how these shapes are so simple, but it immediately reads as a cityscape. It's also very nicely laid out. It's a nice composition where things overlapping. You get that kind of busyness of a city. Love it. So great job, Julian. I'm gonna say, I want to go to there. 30 Rock. All right. Marc. Marc has been making awesome work this whole week. Even working on some illustrations and animations. Really nice. But this finished piece I really enjoyed because he also used a reference image. This is a scene from his actual commute every morning, and he has a nice little bio or information about that. He even leads people to his Instagram, which is awesome to kind of point your viewers towards other social media. But this is the photo that he was using as reference that he took, which is even better. And in this reference image, I don't see this boat, which is a really nice added detail. I love when people use reference just as kind of a backbone or an outline, but they don't take it verbatim. He added extra details and made it a better illustration than a photograph. So nice job, Marc. Appreciated. Oh, hi, Marc. Yes, Elsa and Bonnie, you got it. All right, this is by Mateo. Mateo has a couple awesome illustrations in here. Super cute doggo. Looks like a border collie, maybe. But this bottom piece I thought was really strong because they created different assets that could then be combined. Very simple, really subtle gradients, but this is a good example of something that you might even be able to upload to Adobe Stock and offer to people for download, and they could even pay for it maybe. So icon sets are really popular and a great way to get your foot in the door. So nice job, Mateo. Appreciated. All right, Jewel or Julie. This is really beautiful. I love the full illustration composition. It's not just a cityscape. It tells a little bit of a story. This nice pop of green down here, but I think the thing that I'm really liking is the illustration feel of this. A lot of times people think that Illustrator is really just for flat graphics and maybe more for graphic design, but this little off registration detail where they push the colors off of the outlines is really harkens back to vintage magazines and printouts, so really nice job. This looks like a really fun place to be. Where is it? Hamburg. Also very simple illustrations for the other ones. Really nice color palettes. So let me comment on here. Haven't commented yet. Love the cityscape. It feels very vintage to me. All right, next, and then we have one more, or actually this is the last one. This is by Dusty, who is also on the Slack. This cherry, I think, was a really big breakthrough for Dusty. It's this kind of fractal, crystallized cherry that's really beautiful and hasn't really been done yet for this challenge. So they took this style and went forward with it and even pushed it further by making an abstract cityscape. Yeah, this is really, really nice. I love that they also didn't just take Illustrator to be this flat, very thing that has a lot of rules. They're like, no, I'm going to do something abstract within this kind of structured program. So nice job, Dusty. Let's see if there are any comments. The llama has some great hair and eyelashes. Let's check out this llama. Animal companion. Oh yeah, it's a look. Love it. Abstraction is an awesome direction. Way to go. All right, everyone, so that is the community feedback and highlights for today. Make sure that you come back tomorrow and hop over to our Slack after the live stream to maybe get a hint for what tomorrow's theme is gonna be. It's very exciting, very mysterious. Oh, now we're in San Francisco and we're flying high above. This is me flying home after this live stream. So everyone, make sure that you check out the Slack. Make sure you sign up below if you'd like to take part. There's still a couple days left where you could get your work done. Like I said, last theme is on for April 20th, and then we have till the 21st to get your work done. So everyone, have a great night. Come over to the Slack, hang out tomorrow, and we will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.